Hello everybody, this is Johnny S with another vlog. Today is going to be a small topic of discussion. I'm trying a little bit of a wider angle. I don't know if it's going to look good or not, we'll see about that. We're going to talk about a little bit of an update as far as the editing process goes. I have found a couple of new things that I want to share with you in case that anybody is interested in doing similar things, such as uploading YouTube content and stuff. There had been a period where I was researching different things, including some third-party software for VFX and things like that. There are quite a few out there. Some of them are with subscriptions and things like that, but I did try to simplify as best as I can. I'm not going to take much of your time. Like I said, it's going to be a very short video. Just want to update you a little bit on what I'm using. There's only two products that I've finally have ended up using, and one of them is CapCut. I might put up the words and stuff. CapCut, and the other one is OBS Studio. So CapCut is one of the most, let's say, well-known programs. There's a lot of people that are using it on the mobile devices because it's on Android and iOS and so forth, in order for them to make small shorts and videos and content and everything, such as TikTok and all that. It's a very easy and user-friendly program. It allows you to export in many different formats and compression types in order to better suit the compression which different platforms are using, including YouTube in my case, which means that if your encoding is the same as YouTube, then the upload time onto the YouTube is actually smaller because YouTube does not have to convert as much as in other cases. So it has full control. It is something which is free to download. You can use it. It does not have any specific license in order to get you off your feet. But there is also a paid option where you get what is called the CapCut Pro. From what I know, I don't have a lot of information about that because that's not the route that I have chosen. I'm only utilizing the free version, but there is a pro version which allows you to unlock many things. When you're using the program, there are going to be elements within CapCut which will have a label as Pro. It will allow you to use it, it will allow you to edit, it will allow you to preview, and that is very good because it gives you a full showcase of the capabilities and what you're getting extra, but it does not allow you to export. So if you have, let's say, 3-4 elements which are on the professional version of CapCut and you try to export, there will be a warning coming up that will say either purchase, whatever, or disable, remove the pro elements. There's a huge list of elements that CapCut is using, and that can range both from, let's say, transitions, effects, backgrounds, images, music, sounds, and so forth, fade ins, fade downs, animations. There's a lot of control that can be achieved with CapCut. Many different things that can be achieved, but there's also a lot of those more basic elements that you can utilize on the free version. So just to give an understanding, let's say on the transitions there is like 500 transitions. Okay, 50 of them are free, 450 of them are professional, but those 50 is a good simple selection out of those transition effects. Again, if you want to have access to some of the better ones, then you might as well go to Pro. And that's one of the reasons why I did not use any third-party software, because the subscription and the purchasing of the third-party software kind of ended up being the same thing as utilizing CapCut in the Pro, if I wanted to do that. So in my mind is when I do need it, and if I need it in the future, I'm just going to go professional on the CapCut. That's it. And it resolves the problem of actually importing, exporting the effects, incorporating into the CapCut. It's there, you can see it, like I said, you can test it and you can see how it works. Do you like it? Go Pro. You don't want to go Pro? Use the free version. It's as simple as that. And it's a program that will offer you to do quite a few things that I will advise that it's good for anybody. Unless you're going to go full professional and allowing you to do some specific things. So one of the things that it has really helped me, and I'm going to put out the key points. As far as, I'll start with the negatives. As far as known negatives, there aren't any. There might be some additional functionalities that you might be able to get from Adobe Premiere, that you might be able to get from DaVinci Resolve, that you might be able to get from some other software, but I will not consider that to be a negative of CapCut. It's just additional and more professional versions and programs which come with the drawbacks. When you go to Adobe Premiere, when you go to DaVinci, it's much more PC, let's say, resource heavy. The consumption of the resources is much greater. You need a little bit of a better system, especially if you're editing on 4K. There are other things that you sacrifice when you want to get into more pro. So that you cannot consider because there's a functionality in DaVinci, and I'll give an example. DaVinci has a nice functionality when you're showcasing, let's say you want to do an unboxing, and you have a box in front of you and there's a label which says your home address. You can actually go into DaVinci Resolve, because I did download and also installed it. That's also a free version, and there's a paid version which has much more functionality. What I'm going to explain now is part of DaVinci Resolve free version. The free version of DaVinci Resolve allows you to actually mark a specific area on the box, blur it, and then it will track that space wherever you move the object, which means you can use it for when you're on the bike to blur out the speed, you can use it to cover faces, you can use it to cover many things automatically on your video without you going scene by scene. CapCut has a similar functionality when you can play with masks and you can actually blur things out, but you will have to create keyframes, which means that you have to go through your video, and as the image moves, you have to move the mask as well and create via keyframes that you can also get the same effect, but it's much more time-wise consuming, especially if you have a huge video and especially if there's a component which moves a lot, especially on the bikes. If you want to blur for the speed limit, for example, you're shifting your body across the bike, you're turning, it makes it a little bit difficult to do this over 20 minutes. It's a lot of keyframes, let's say, whereas DaVinci Resolve will just solve it like that. If you ask me the question, why did you not go for DaVinci Resolve, is what I mentioned previously. It is a little bit more heavy on the resources and it's a little bit less user-friendly. You're trying to find the balance between what your daily operations is and what your goal is. There's no point for you to have something which has the capability of 100 things and you're using only 10 of them on your daily thing. You got to find the balance, and you upgrade as you require more things. You go CapCut, you want more, go CapCut Pro. You want more, go DaVinci Resolve. You want more, go DaVinci Resolve Paid. So that's how you progress slowly based on your needs. There's no point to go straight away buy something which is going to be a little bit more difficult and a little bit more time consuming. And also another thing to keep in mind is that all these programs that offer more control, more functionality, more customization, on some things which might be simpler on some other programs, those type of programs might require more time for you to do them. Specifically and exactly because of that reason, because you do have more control. Whereas something which is much more automated, quite quicker, you just throw it in, it will zap things together for you in a default way without giving you the control, but it will do it quickly for you in order for you to get your job done, export your video and be done, and minimize, how can I say, optimize, let's say like that, or increase your efficiency when it comes to the editing procedure. So that's one functionality that I've described, which can be done on DaVinci Resolve, much more automatic, but that does not mean it's a negative of CapCut. It's just CapCut uses a more basic version of that. There's a lot of other things that CapCut does great. One of the things that it has helped me a lot is the editing process. It's able to put things together much more quicker. It has a lot of little widgets on the bars that you can actually quickly fade in, fade down, cut, sync different videos based on the audio, mute something, fix a lot of color things. There's a lot of greater control, especially when you're comparing it to something which is like Clipchamp or some other program which is much more basic than CapCut. It has a lot of functionality, a lot of capabilities. And one other thing that I will point out, which it does perfectly, amazingly, and you might notice it on the videos as well, is the background removal. The background removal that CapCut has at this moment is one of the best that I've seen. If you pay attention to my latest of the videos that I do with backgrounds, my outside is much more clear cut. You might see it on this video also. I might put a background, I don't know. I'm gonna do it. It's much more not CPU intensive. It's much quicker. It's much more clear cut, much more control on how it looks, and it looks much more professional. It gives you a nice feeling. Also, you importing different elements and what is called an overlay in CapCut. You have much more control in order to make it look a little bit more real, in order to make it look a little bit more blending. Previous processes that I used were much more complex, a lot of computer intense, and without the same results. So that's one of the things that really helped me. And the only thing which CapCut cannot do, which most editing programs cannot do, is capture. That's why I said at the beginning I'm going to call the video something like CapCut/OBS, or I might call it the two products that you need in order for you to perform your YouTube content creation, let's say, or whatever you want to call it. Because OBS is a pure capturing program, you cannot utilize it. You cannot utilize CapCut in order to capture your desktop, your screen, a gameplay. You want to overlay yourself over a video and so forth. Again, because OBS background removal process is a little bit more intense, heavy, not as good as CapCut, I will suggest that if you do have to record yourself doing a game review or something, and you want to have your portrait or on an overlay of a game on OBS, I will suggest that you export those two videos as two different videos. So capture the gameplay, speak over, do everything, record them and export them into two separate videos, import those into CapCut, and then do the removal process on one of the videos, and you can overlay it over your gameplay video. You can easily sync, like I said, the audio, and you can have a much better or much refined, let's say, result when it comes to doing like gameplay videos. So as long as you have those two products, like I said, you're good to go. OBS is one of the great programs when it comes to capturing, and you do have also some online capabilities where you can actually see yourself. I have not gone as professional as that to tell you the truth, but I have seen some videos where some people are using multiple displays, and they're able to have like one display which will show the output when you're capturing things from OBS, and they can have the editing platform as well. And as they're speaking and they're doing a game review, they might see that they want to show something which their portrait is over, and they will shift it live as they're doing the recording. So OBS has a lot of capabilities as long as you can utilize them. I don't have multiple displays, I want to go one display, so I'm a little bit limited when I'm recording my screen to actually see myself also, like I said. So, sorry about trying to get a little. That's as much as I wanted to mention. There's been a lot of experimentation also with noise removal, but in the end I decided not to use it. There's an automatic sort of sound noise removal from CapCut. I tried to use that on one of my videos. I think the title is one of the Greek videos, which is basically the story of my bike, but in Greek. On that one, I used the audio removal, but it works very well when it's very windy on the bike, but not as nice when it comes to the voice and the sound of the engine. It makes your voice sound a little bit more further away. If you play one of those two videos in my YouTube channel and you have a look, you pay attention, you will see that my voice, usually without any noise suppression, you can hear it much more closer to you. So I leave the noise suppression off. But there are other components which are only on the Pro version, which will additionally allow you to separate sounds, such as separate the voice, music from a song. There's a lot of control, but that's on the professional version. So yeah, that's about it. I just want to mention CapCut and what I'm using at the moment, CapCut/OBS. That's all you need. You can get into it straight away. It doesn't require much knowledge. Play around a little bit, and then the more you play around with it, you will see that you have a lot of control. You want to make a video, for example, you want to showcase your bike, and you only want to showcase the red symbols because the R6 is only red and everything. There's actually control when you can actually desaturate all colors but red. You know what I mean? When you see some videos where you see a bike driving by and you only see one specific color. You know what I mean? You can do these things where other programs you could not have done it. So you can really get professional sort of look whilst using a simple free version of a program. That's about it. I'd like to thank you, everybody. I think it's 15 minutes. It's good enough. I wanted to recommend CapCut. Like I said, there's no monetized channel. I don't have any sponsors or anything like that. But this is just the truth, basic truth, what I'm using, what I've seen, and what I suggest and advise to everybody. That's about it. I hope everyone has a good night. I hope you're doing great, and we'll talk soon. Goodbye.